Okay, so I'm back for the last time. This is the final product. So here is the beginning of my rice and peas. I'm using cow peas today. This is what the packet looks like. I actually got it in Woolwich in South London, cow peas. It's like a smaller version to kidney beans. And all I'm doing at the moment is soaking them. You should really soak them overnight, but cow peas cook so fast if you add certain ingredients that I just soak them for maybe a morning or till I'm ready to cook. So yeah, so there's a soaking at the moment. So we'll see where we go from here next. I'm going to get my rice and peas going. I've already got the pot on the fire, so that means that it's I started boiling it already. But these are the ingredients I add to my actual peas while it's actually cooking the peas, and that way it gives it a really distinctive flavour and it's really nice. And in actual fact, by the time you finish with this seasoning in it, so that's sea salt and Himalayan salt mixed together. It's a grinder that I actually got from the pound shop, would you believe. That's a Scotch bonnet pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, dried thyme, and some spring onion, or if you're Jamaican, scallion. So this is what I'm going to put in my rice and peas. So let's do that. So I like to fold it in half, put that in there. There's the thyme going in. 2 cloves of garlic, and incidentally garlic makes the peas cook quicker as well, but it actually gives a really nice flavour. And my Scotch bonnet, I put the whole one in there and take it out afterwards. And last but not least, the actual salt. I'm not really a salt lover, so I don't put loads and loads of salt in there. So there you go. So that's going to keep boiling until the peas are cooked. We don't take these ingredients out until the very end. Or I don't even bother taking them out. I just move them to the side when I'm actually serving the pot. But yeah, so that's going to keep boiling until the peas are done. And the way you know the peas are done is, well, I always test it with a spoon and take a bit out, but they start splitting a little bit and they go really soft. So that's when you know when they're done. And then I can add the rest of my ingredients. Rice and peas just boiling there now, so I'm going to put a lid on that and let it cook by itself, and it shouldn't take too long because it's got all the ingredients to make it soft. So I'll be back. In the meanwhile, it's a bit dark, but this is what my peas is looking like. You can see I've still got the seasoning in there. There's the scallion, there's the Scotch bonnet, there's thyme, fresh thyme, and there's garlic. And I'm going to try the peas to see what they're doing, and I can tell immediately just by doing this that they're not cooked yet. So what I do is, because you don't want the boil to boil out and burn, I'm going to add some more water and let it boil up and then turn it down again. So you keep doing that until the peas are soft, but you don't ever throw away the water, because that's what makes the rice and peas, is the water. So at this point I'm not even bothered tasting it, because what I do is taste the water to see if it's got enough salt in it. And then we're going to add coconut milk. So I'll be back, peeps. So come on, focus. So onto the rice and peas now. So this is what it looks like. I don't need a lot because it's just for me at the moment. So as long as I can eat twice out of it, I don't care. But this is how I would test the peas. So I can just find some. Can you see that? Let it focus. They're actually cooked now, and you can tell because they're actually broken up and they're very soft. So I'm done with that now. So what I'm going to do is next is add some coconut to it, because it's not rice and peas without coconut. It's not Jamaican rice and peas without coconut. So this is the brand I'm using. I actually bought this here. I think you can get this one in England, I'm not sure. But it's vegan, it's 100% just coconut. It's powdered coconut basically, and you make coconut milk out of it. But I'm adding it to my rice and peas, so I eyeball it because it's just me. I don't want it too coconutty. So let's stir that in and see what that looks like. And rice and peas smells divine when it's cooking, especially when you add the coconut. What I do is once this boils up, I'm going to boil this up so that it all melts in together, and then taste it to see if it's got enough salt in it. Because so one thing is, if you don't add enough salt in it, it's just not the same. And although I'm not a salt person, I like to taste a little tiny salt in my actual rice and peas. So when I come back, you'll see the consistency when it's boiled up. Now, this is what it looks like when the actual coconut's boiled in and it's melted in. It's actually changed the colour of the rice. It's a bit lighter than what it, not the rice, the peas. So I haven't added the rice yet. So my next job is to add rice. And I'll probably tell you how to measure that as well. Or how I measure it anyway. Some people do it differently, but I'll show you how I measure my rice to know how much rice to put in there, because it's one thing I hate is soggy rice. Soggy rice and peas is a no-no. It's just not nice. So I'm going to taste it, wash my rice, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've added my rice to the actual pot, and my rule of thumb when I'm cooking rice and peas is that I put enough rice in there that it makes a mound at the top, so you know you've got the right amount of rice in there. And then I stir it in with all my seasonings. I've actually tasted this pot now. It tastes of Scotch bonnet pepper, the actual water seasoning. It tastes the garlic. You can taste the spring onion. It's fantastic. This you could eat by itself with some, if you had some gravy, just eat this rice by itself because it tastes that good. So I've added my rice now. So what I do is, some people boil it up and then turn it right down. But what I do is have it low because I want it to make sure it cooks and steams out all the water. I hate soggy rice. So when I come back, I'll show you what my rice looks like, and then when I put the plate together. So that should take about half an hour. Oh, by the way, this is the rice that I used. It's actually Tesco long grain rice. I cook it with basmati rice as well. Jamaicans don't use basmati rice on their rice and peas, but in England we do, and it's just as nice. But this is the one I'm using today. I've actually shipped this in my barrel. I keep saying that, but I shipped some stuff in my barrel. So if you want to see that video, I've actually got a two-parter there, and I'll link it in the description box for you. This battery's going to die, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back for the last time. This is the final product. That's the rice and peas. That is my curried veggie chunks, and I swear to God it looks like some serious meat. And I've just added some tomatoes and cucumbers with a little bit of salt and pepper on them.